The FBI director, Kash Patel, that guy. He's been standing in front of Congress people and senators the past couple of days, barking and berating and arguing with them. So here he is talking to Sydney Kamlager Dove. And she was asking him about Dylann Roof, specifically about how they're coming after, these divisions in our country and partisan killings and racially based killings.
You said that there is violent extreme ideology on both sides, and I think you actually alluded to that same statement yesterday in the Senate. So I too have some questions I'd like to ask you. These are not gotcha questions, and just deny, please, what you deem to be false. So Dylann Roof, who followed white supremacist propaganda, murdered 9 black parishioners in Charleston in 2015. Do you deny this?
I'm sorry. Dylann Roof?
Roof?
Roof. Can you give me some more information?
You're head of the FBI. You probably know this. If you don't know, that's fine.
You can give me a reminder. I've got a lot in front of me.
It was national news. Robert Bowers murdered 11 Jewish worshipers in Pittsburgh in 2018.
I do remember that.
And it was the deadliest anti-Semitic attack. So do you admit that that happened?
I'm not saying the other thing didn't happen. I'm just asking for a little information.
Patrick Cruces, who posted a manifesto about a Hispanic invasion, walked into a Walmart in El Paso, Texas in 2019 and began firing. He murdered 23 people that day, and the youngest was 15. Do you admit or deny that that happened?
I'll take your presentation as accurate.
But he started there with Dylann Roof. He said, Dylann, Ruff? Dylann Rudd? Never heard of him before. That's a blatant dismissal of this particular white supremacist mass murderer that specifically targeted black folks in a church praying, and they don't give a shit. So again, I want to remind everyone, when you see folks that don't care about certain people being murdered, it's because throughout our nation's history, and very recently, specifically our partisan and racially based history under MAGA, they openly and aggressively don't care about other folks that have been murdered by people that are like them, because they want more of that. They celebrated it. It's not missed on folks like me that have lived in this country to see the disrespect and disregard for our lives since our ancestors came here, to see the director of the FBI say, never heard of it. Who you talking about? Those black people don't matter. While at the same time, they're using the murder of their guy to say that everyone else needs to step in line and suppress their free speech for us. It's purposeful. It's not a mistake. So if you see headlines that say Kash Patel didn't know who Dylann Roof is, he does. He does. I do want to remind you guys, though, because this is another wrinkle to that whole thing. Remember back when Dylann Roof was finally captured? Remember they took him to Burger King and got him a Whopper with cheese, no lettuce, and made sure they got his order just right, and they got him the king size meal. They rolled out the red carpet for his murderous ass. And then when he got into court and they were, I guess setting some kind of a pre-trial, it's Judge James Gosnell Jr. I want to point out to you guys again the level of disrespect that has been laid upon certain people in this country, and maybe reasons why they don't feel too much about respecting your ass now. Here's that judge at the time.
I'm Judge James Gosnell, the Chief Magistrate of Charleston County. This is the case of State versus Dylann Roof. Mr. Roof is charged with 9 counts of murder and 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get into the hearing, I'd like to make a statement, please. Charleston is a very strong community. We have big hearts. We're a very loving community. And we're going to reach out to everyone, all victims, and we will touch them. We have victims, 9 of them. But we also have victims on the other side. There are victims on this young man's side of the family, nobody would have ever thrown them into the whirlwind of events that they have been thrown into. We must find it in our heart at some point in time, not only to help those that are victims, but to also help his family as well.
Have you heard of any judges finding it in their heart to bring up the family of a mass murderer of a bunch of white folks, say this guy was black? Have you heard them preempt and start the entire hearing off by saying, sure, we got some dead white folks. But then again, have you guys thought about this black guy's sister? Maybe his mother. And anytime they do think about that black guy's sister or mother or kids, they go, look how they failed them. Look at this single parent household. Look at this destructive culture that we've got here. They need to get in line. But when black folks, innocent black folks, Christians in this what they call a Christian nation are praying in their house of worship and are fucking murdered, the judge starts off by talking about how we have to think about this murderer's family. That was in 2015, you guys. So please, let's not start talking like murdered people in certain communities haven't been disrespected right after they're murdered and continually and ongoing, because it happens. You know what else that same judge did? I want to give you guys the full spectrum of who this judge was and reason why people may not respect his ass. In November of 2003, this same judge, Gosnell, was talking to a black defendant whom he knew. Gosnell said he repeated to the defendant a phrase that he had heard spoken by a black sheriff's deputy. This is the quote of what this judge said. There are 4 kinds of people in this world: black people, white people, rednecks, and he didn't say N-words, he said the full word. Gosnell said that. He told the Office of Disciplinary Counsel at the state Supreme Court that he made the ill-considered statement to try to get the young man to change his life. Why would that young black man decide to change his life? Because your ass decided to call him the N-word so that he'll stop being one. The reason I went after that guy's integrity, again, because I remember that story from that long ago. The reason why I went after that guy's integrity is because once, as I've been saying this whole week, once you identify who these blatant liars are, believe that they're liars. And you should probably understand they're much worse. This is news just from this week. Federal agents arrested a Charleston County magistrate on a criminal complaint charging him with possession of child sexual abuse material. That's what authorities with the Department of Justice said. There was a Charleston County magistrate. It's weird. Charleston County.
I'm Judge James Gosnell, the Chief Magistrate of Charleston County.
Here's more information. The complaint alleges that agents with the Homeland Security Investigations received a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children about multiple financial transactions tied to a known distributor of child sexual abuse material in the UK. The payments were sent from peer-to-peer online money transfer account. This is the best part, you guys. Listen, really here. Linked to Gosnell's phone number, his address, and email account. The transactions took place in November of last year. Agents later obtained a search warrant for Gosnell's home and electronic devices. During that search, they found a flash drive containing numerous videos and images of child sexual abuse, including depictions of prepubescent minors, infants, and toddlers engaged in sexually explicit conduct. People always reveal themselves to being the dishonest, hateful, divisive, bigoted, racist people that they are, and sometimes they're even worse. And in this case, from the guy from 10 years ago who was trying to tell the community to have some kind of sympathy for Dylann Roof that Kash Patel just said he's never heard of. Sometimes they're even worse. So please, miss me with having to respect people that never respected us.